Hey everyone, this is Martin from Tech Altar, and as a tech YouTuber, if my girlfriend gives me a gadget like this, I know it's time for another product review. So this is the Revogi Smart LED Bluetooth light bulb. It can be controlled from my smartphone, it can change colors, and if you're thinking about switching from conventional bulbs to smart ones, should you consider this one? The promise of this bulb is that it's as simple as it gets. Unlike some competitors like the Big Daddy Philips Hue, for example, all you need is the bulb itself and an Android or iOS smartphone or tablet that supports Bluetooth 4.0, or basically, in other words, any modern device. There are no accessories in the box because you won't need any. You can connect up to 10 bulbs directly to your device, and there's no need for an additional control unit or a so-called bridge. Just scrub your light bulb into any E27 fixture, which is the most common one you will find in homes. Then make sure that the light switch is on so that device gets power. Then download the app called Light from Google Play or the App Store, and you're good to go. It's basically plug and play. Now this is both good and bad. This light bulb costs just 35 USD, so you can see how well it works for you before you make a big investment. Other light bulbs that require a control unit might cost up to 200 USD for a starting kit and are also a bit more complicated to set up. This one also looks and acts just like a regular light bulb, so it will be suitable for nearly every scenario. The downside of simplicity is, of course, the limited functionality, and especially three things. You can only connect one device to a bulb at any given time. You can only control 10 devices at the same time, so you won't, for example, switch all the bulbs in your flat to Revogi ones. And third, you're limited to the Bluetooth range of your devices, which isn't an issue for small flats, but can quickly become problematic in bigger ones. All three of these aren't exactly issues of the Revogi light bulb specifically, but rather of all Bluetooth light bulbs for now. And none of them are deal breakers for me because the much lower price and simplicity compensates for them when compared to those that use other technologies. So, if that doesn't bother you, then you can open the app, which is really easy to use and looks very nice and clean. It will start with finding new Bluetooth devices. In my case, I have 4 bulbs and an LED strip from Revogi connected. I'll make a review of the LED strip in another video, by the way, so subscribe to my channel if you want to see that. Connecting to the devices was a bit tricky for me in the beginning, as I had to update the firmware of the bulbs and restart the app and then the bulbs a few times before everything was willing to work properly. But now that I'm up with those things, connection has improved a lot. On iOS devices, it's nearly instantaneous and very, very reliable. On my Android phone, the connection is usually fast as well, but every now and then it takes a while for the bulbs to reconnect once I've left the Bluetooth range for a while. This can be annoying when you come home and just want to change something right away, but have to wait for the bulbs to load. At least the situation on the Android front has been improving a lot with the newest updates, and so I have confidence that it will continue getting better in the future. Once a connection has been established though, it stays pretty reliable and works very well. So, when you open the app, to the left you will see this list of devices, and I love how you can see right away which color they're on. I think that's a really nice touch, and here you can also turn the devices off one by one, or also all of them at the same time. You also have a selection of an impressive 10 languages, which is way more than what you'd get with, I guess, most similar apps. Under that you can leave your feedback and ask for help, and even get the direct contact information of Revogi. Now that level of openness is pretty impressive, I think. Tap on the bulb you want to control and you'll be able to adjust the color and the brightness of the bulb, as well as turn it off and on quickly. All the changes are really responsive and feel great. You also have a preset for a plain nice warm white light at maximum brightness if you just want the bulb to work as a regular light, though sadly you can't adjust the temperature of the light here yet. Apparently that will be a feature of the next generation of Revogi bulbs. Tapping on the star will let you favorite your colors so you can return back to your frequently used ones, and you'll be able to set the brightness of the bulb right here too. While we are at brightness, this is an 8-watt bulb with a maximum brightness of 450 lumens, so it's certainly bright enough for a desk lamp, but if you want to illuminate a bigger room like a living room, you'll need at least 3 or 4 of these like I have here. Easy enough since you can change all the settings in bulk as well as one by one if you want. On the bottom of the app you have effects, which are somewhere between gimmicky and I guess cool. Music Visualizer uses your phone's microphone to make the bulb pulse to music or sounds, a pretty cool trick if you throw a house party for example. Kaleidoscope and Show both just make your bulb change colors randomly. And then there is Strobe, which tells you it may cause you seizure, and it probably will because it's really aggressive, and so on. Scenes are something that you'll want to use all the time if you have multiple bulbs, I guess, as you can select multiple bulbs and set up presets for all of them at once. So I have one that puts all my bulbs on candle flicker, one that just does cold white, and one that's all these cool pastel colors and so on. Pretty convenient. Of course, you can also set timers and schedules to turn the lights on and off at specific times and in specific time intervals, and make them fade in the morning to wake you up naturally, or fade out at night to get your kid to sleep with the lights on and stuff like that. A proximity function turns all the bulbs on when you get in Bluetooth range and turns them off again when you leave them, which is really cool if you have a room of your own and will mean you could potentially forget about turning lights on and off completely. Last is something that I never use, but maybe you might find useful, namely letting your bulbs bling for incoming calls and messages. Now, this brings us to a shortcoming of the app, which is namely that Revogi currently doesn't use open APIs, so you can't use services like IFTTT to set triggers for your bulbs and so on. Apparently, this too will change in the future, which could make the bulb even better. Just like any other LED light bulb as well, this one also has the advantage of using very little energy, around 8 watts when turned on, and close to nothing at all when it's turned off. Plus it will also basically last much longer before you have to replace them than conventional bulbs. So I'm sure you have noticed that I'm generally pretty positive about the Revogi Smart Bluetooth bulb. I think smart light bulbs as a category still have to prove themselves as being useful for the average consumer, but this particular unit is a good first step into that direction. It's ideal for people who just want a few light bulbs instead of switching all the bulbs in the house to smart ones right away. And at 35 USD is cheap enough so nearly, I guess, everyone can afford it, especially when you also add to the mix that you'll save on electricity bills in the long run and having to replace your bulbs less often and so on. It's also extremely easy to use, won't look weird in most fixtures, and you can simply turn it into a regular bulb if you get bored of playing with colors, and it will work just fine like that as well. The app is also full of features and overall pretty robust, so my only concern is that while with iOS devices it works like a charm, Android connectivity can often be slow. Judging by how many updates there have been to the app, I'm hopeful that this will continue improving in the future, but it's something to keep in mind. So to wrap it up, I would recommend this bulb to anyone who wants to start using smart LED bulbs, but doesn't want to invest a whole lot of money into trying out this category at first. So, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Follow me on Facebook, Google+, and YouTube. And if you want to see my next review, which will be of the Revogi LED Smart Strip, then subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next one.